Hello everyone, this is Arithmo Hanyo USA. Before we start, please support me by subscribing to my channel. And today, we will discuss parallel and perpendicular lines. Before we continue, let's have a quick review, a preview of different formulas. What is the slope-intercept form? Y equals mx plus b. What is the standard form? Ax plus by equals c. Point slope form, y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. And before we go on, let us find the negative reciprocal of each fraction because this is very important in our lesson for today. So, what is the negative reciprocal of 2 over 5? First, look at the sign. If this is positive, then this will become negative, and its reciprocal, just flip 2 over 5 and it becomes 5 over 2. How about the negative reciprocal of 3 over 7? Same thing, this is positive, then it becomes negative, and flip it, then it becomes 7 over 3. And for letter C, 1/2 is negative, the opposite of this is positive, so therefore, we will make this positive and flip 1 over 2. This becomes 2 over 1 or just 2. And lastly, negative 4/3. Opposite of negative is a positive number. Just flip this, then it becomes 3 over 4. So let us define parallel lines. Parallel lines are lines that never intersect. Now, I want you to find the slope of the red line. So first, let's find points on the line. These are the points. And let's use the rise over run. So from this point, we rise 1 unit. And we run to the right 2 units. So it's positive, so 1/2. So let's see if it's consistent. Go up 1, 2 to the right. Go up 1 and 2 to the right. So therefore, the slope of the red line is 1/2. How about the blue line? So let us see. Let's find points on the line. So this is one of the points, another one, and this one, and that. So let's use rise over run. 1 going up, 2 to the right, so it's positive 2. 1 up, 2 to the right, 1 up, 2 to the right. So therefore, the slope of the blue line is also 1/2. Now, what can you say about the slope of parallel lines? Yes, that is the same. Let us take this example. We will determine if the lines are parallel. Remember that the slope of a line must be the same. So let us see. So the second equation is written in slope-intercept form already, and its slope is negative 1/3. But the first equation is in standard form, so we have to write this in slope-intercept form by solving for y. So first, subtract 2x on both sides, cross out, bring down 6y. 12 minus 2x is negative 2x plus 12. Then divide both sides by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1, so we have y equals. Get the lowest form of 2 and 6. They are both divisible by 2, so that will be negative 1/3 x plus 2. Now, let us compare the slope of the second equation and the first equation. So this has a slope of negative 1/3. Therefore, the graph is parallel. So let's have the second example. So first, let us solve for y given the first equation. 6x plus 8y equals negative 24. Subtract 6x on both sides, then divide 8. It becomes y equals negative 3/4 x plus 3. Therefore, let us compare their slopes. The question is, are they parallel? The answer is no. it's neither parallel nor perpendicular. So this time, we will write an equation for the line that contains a point. This is your x and this is your y, and is parallel to y equals 3/5 x minus 4. First, remember that the slope of parallel are the same, so we will use 3/5 as the value of the slope. So, how to write an equation? Step 1, let us find for b. And slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So we will use y, which is 1. Since the slope of parallel lines are the same, the m here is 3/5 and x is 5. Then solve for b. 3/5 times 5, just cross this out, so we have 3. And get rid of 3 by subtracting 3 on both sides. 1 take away 3 is negative 2, equals 3 minus 3 is 0, and therefore your b is negative 2. So we have b and we have the slope. Therefore, for your step number 2, plug in the value of the slope and the y-intercept. We have y equals, the slope is 3/5 x, and the value of b is negative 2. So therefore, the equation parallel to y equals 3/5 x minus 4 is y equals 3/5 x minus 2 passes through or contains 5 and 1. Now, to verify this, you can use Desmos Calculator. So let us graph and prove if they are really parallel. So y equals 3/5 x plus 5, and the other equation is y equals 3/5 x minus 2. So, as you can see, using Desmos Calculator, they are really parallel. Please don't forget that the slope of parallel lines are the same. Let's try another example in writing the equation of a line. So there are 2 steps to follow. First, identify the slope. The slope is 3, and the point is 2 and negative 6. This will be the x, and this will be the y. Step number 1, find for b. Use y equals mx plus b. Then plug in the y, which is negative 6, equals, the slope is 3, times x is 2 plus b. So this is now negative 6 equals 3 times 2 is 6 plus b. Get rid of 6 by subtracting 6 on both sides. Negative 6 plus negative 6 is negative 12. This is 0, and therefore b is negative 12. And for step number 2, write the equation parallel to this, contain this point, and the slope is 3, and the y-intercept is negative 12. So this is now the equation parallel to this. So again, let us try this on Desmos. The first equation is y equals 3x plus 9, and the other equation is y equals 3x minus 12. And they are parallel. Now, let's have perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines are lines that intersect to form right angles. Now, I want you to look at the slope of each of this. The slope of the red line, let us use rise over run. Then this is one of the points, another one is this, and so on. So let's use the rise. We rise 1 unit up, and that is positive 1. And we run how many units left? 1, 2, 3, 4. Since you go left, that is negative 4. So, the slope of the red line is negative 1/4. How about the slope of the blue line? So let's find points on the line 1 and 2, and then let's find the slope using rise over run. So we rise how many units? Let us count 1, 2, 3, and then 4. 4, when you rise, it's a positive number. And when you run 1 unit to the right, that is 4 over 1, or simply 4. Now, what can you say about the slope of perpendicular lines? They are negative reciprocal. So negative 1/4, its negative reciprocal is just like a while ago. If this is negative, make it positive and flip it. So this becomes 4 over 1. So please do not forget that the slope of perpendicular lines are negative reciprocal. So let us identify the slope of this perpendicular line. It is very simple. The slope is 2 over 5, and since it's positive, you have to make it negative and flip 2 over 5, and that becomes 5 over 2. So this is the slope perpendicular to this equation. Next, how about number 8? So the slope is negative 1/5. Negative becomes positive, and then flip 5 and 1. So this will be 5 over 1, or 5. So the slope perpendicular to this equation is 5, or 5 over 1. And in finding the equation of a line that contains a point and perpendicular to a given equation, the steps are the same with parallel lines, but the only difference is you have to first find the slope perpendicular to this equation. So the slope of this equation is 5. So let us get its negative reciprocal. Positive 5 becomes negative. Remember that a whole number has a denominator of 1. So let us flip it. This becomes 1 over 5. So the slope that we will be using in writing the equation perpendicular to this is negative 1/5. Then, let's take this as your first step. Then, second step, follow the steps that we just did. Find B. Find B. Then, let's use y equals mx plus b, where x is 0, where y is negative 2. So let us plug in negative 2 here, and the slope is negative 1/5 times x, which is 0, plus b. So this is negative 2. Negative 1/5 times 0 is 0, so therefore b is negative 2. And for the last step, write the equation perpendicular to y equals 5x by using y equals mx plus b, and let us plug in the slope, which is negative 1/5 x, and your b is negative 2. So this is now the equation perpendicular to this that contains this point. So for you to know if your answer is correct, then let us use Desmos Calculator to graph both equations. So the first equation is y equals 5x plus 3, and the other equation is y equals negative 1 over 5x minus 2. That is correct. Now, look at the graph. The graph forms 90 degree, and this is perpendicular. Therefore, your answer is correct. Please remember that the slope of perpendicular lines are negative reciprocal. So let's find the equation of a line that contains 1/8 and is perpendicular to y equals 3/4 x plus 1. Remember that the first step is to find the negative reciprocal of the slope. So the slope for this equation is 3/4. So let's take the negative reciprocal first. If it's positive, then it becomes negative, and then flip 3/4 and it becomes 4/3. So 4/3 will be your slope, your new slope, or this is the slope perpendicular to the other equation. Second step, find B. In finding B, we use y equals mx plus b and then plug in x, which is 1, and y 8. So let us put 8 here, and the slope will be the negative reciprocal 4/3, and x is 1 plus b. So this is 8. Negative 4/3 times 1, negative 4/3 plus b. Then, get rid of 4/3 by adding it on both sides. So this is now 8 plus 4/3 equals, this is 0 and this is b. So therefore, b is 3 times 8 is 24 plus 4 is 28/3. Then, since you already have b and your negative reciprocal, therefore, the equation perpendicular to this contains this point is y. Plug in the negative reciprocal, which is negative 4/3, x, and then your b is positive 28/3. So, to prove that your answer is correct, let us graph this on Desmos. So y equals 3/4 x plus 1, and the other one is y equals negative 4/3 x plus 28/3. 28/3. And there you go. The graph is perpendicular and it forms 90 degrees. And for the last examples, we will determine if the lines are perpendicular. We already have the equations. All you have to do is to tell whether if this is perpendicular or not. So how? You will just compare the slope. Remember that the slope of perpendicular line is negative reciprocal. So, since this is already written in slope-intercept form, we can determine that the slope is 2/3. And therefore, let us see if the slope of this is a negative reciprocal of 2/3. So let us solve. 2x on both sides, cross out. So this is 3y equals negative 2x plus 4. Divide 3 on both sides. This is 1, and therefore we have negative 2/3 x plus 4/3. Now, the slope of the second equation is negative 2/3. Is negative 2/3 the negative reciprocal of this? Let us see. Positive becomes negative, flip, and this is not. So, these equations are not parallel nor perpendicular. So, if you want to see, you can check it using Desmos Calculator. So, we have y equals 2/3 x plus 1, and the other one is y equals negative 2/3 x plus 4/3. This is plus 4/3. So look at this. The graph are intersecting, but It's not parallel nor perpendicular because this is not forming 90 degrees. So the answer here is it's neither parallel nor perpendicular. And how about the last example? So the slope is 4 over 3 and its negative reciprocal is negative 3/4, but let us see. So minus 3x on both sides. This will be 4y equals negative 3x plus 9. Divide 4 on both sides. And this is now y equals negative 3/4 x plus 9 over 4. Is negative 3/4 the negative reciprocal of this? Yes, positive becomes negative. When you flip it, it's 3/4. So let us check. The first equation is y equals 4 over 3x plus 5. And the other one is y equals negative 3/4 x plus the other number is 9 over 4. And they are perpendicular. And if you have any question, please let me know. Please comment down below. And please support me by subscribing to my channel for more mathematics lesson and mathematics tutorial. This is your teacher, Arithmo Hanyo USA, saying thank you, keep safe, and God bless you all. Bye-bye.